Hi, I'm Dan, a Navy veteran and yoga teacher for Comeback Yoga. Joining us here today is Doug. He's a retired Navy veteran, and his wife, Carol. We appreciate you joining us today. We're going to go through about a 20-minute flow. It'll be somewhat active, so at any time that you feel that it's too much, feel free to take a break, and we'll demonstrate that for you here today. You also may find that the use of a block as a prop will be helpful to bring the floor a little bit closer to your hand in some of the poses. If you don't have a block handy, a thick book could work, or a container of protein powder, or maybe an ammo box. In addition, for some of the poses, we'll be on our knees for a while. You may want a blanket or a folded up towel if you have experienced knees. So let's go to it. Take a comfortable seat, whatever that may look like. Your legs can be in front of you, crisscrossed, behind you. Maybe you're seated on a block or some type of a prop, or just seated on the floor or a mat. Try to stay nice and tall, bringing the crown of the head higher into the ceiling, towards the ceiling. And begin to deepen your breath. You can close your eyes if you wish, or take a soft gaze. Try to bring the breath into the belly and expanding the ribs, and feel the chest rise. As you exhale, allow the reverse to happen. We'll do a few rounds of box breathing, meaning we'll inhale for a count of 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, and hold it for 4. If a 4 count doesn't work for you, alter it as you see fit. If 4 is too long to hold your breath on either end of the inhale and exhale, change it to 2 or 1 or just a gentle pause. Feel what works for you and use that breath. So allow all the air to come out of your lungs and inhale deeply for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do one more round. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly. 4, 3, 2, 1. And pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now continue with a deep diaphragmatic breathing, filling the belly up first, ribs and chest, and exhale, allowing the air to come out of the chest, ribs contract slightly, and finally the belly. Take a couple more slow breaths here, and then we'll begin to match our breath with the movements. Try to allow the movements to come with the breath, not the breath because of the movements. When you're ready, lean forward to all fours, bringing your hands nice and wide, fingers gripping the mat. Maybe you even see a little bit of white in the fingertips. Ensure the elbows are directly above the wrists and shoulders above the elbows. Spiral the eye of the elbow forward, which will give a little more room in the shoulder blades. Bring your knees directly below your hips, and then the toes can be flat on the mat or curled under, whichever you feel gives you a little more stability. On an inhale, look up, drop your belly, tilt the pelvis, shoulders down the back, and as you exhale, round towards the ceiling with the spine. Tuck the chin. Inhale, dropping the belly. Again, shoulders down the back. And exhale, rounding. One more round. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, rounding. Inhale, do a neutral spine. Flip your toes under if they're not. And as you exhale, draw your hips up and back so you come to an inverted V shape or downward facing dog. Continue to grip into the mat with your fingers and feel free to walk one heel down at a time towards the mat. Swaying left and right if you want to extend that stretch up into the hips. Now eventually come to a still downward facing dog. Inhale, looking up towards the top of the mat. And as you exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, bringing the torso halfway up, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, folding back towards the mat. Inhale with a reverse swan dive, arms overhead, looking up slightly. Exhale, diving back towards the mat slowly. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step or hop the feet back to a high plank or push-up position. Inhale, bringing the body weight forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, keeping them tight in towards the ribs. Flatten the feet, pushing them into the mat, raising the knees up a little bit. And inhale, bringing the chest and head forward. Exhale, slowly coming to the mat. Inhale, push into the mat with the hands, pivot on your knees. Reestablish a solid foundation for tabletop as you exhale. Inhale, bringing the right arm to the right. Exhale, threading it under the left armpit. Pause momentarily. Inhale, rise up again, spiraling the ribs towards the ceiling. Exhale, threading it under. One more round. Inhale, high. And exhale, coming under. Inhale again, bringing the right arm towards the ceiling. As you exhale, plant the right hand next to the left. Inhale the left arm to the left and high. Exhale, coming under the right arm. Inhale and rise. Exhale, spiraling. One more time, rising high. And exhale, hand to the mat. Flip the toes over. As you inhale, bring the hips up just a few inches. Keep the core engaged. Stay for the strong breath. And on your next exhale, continue the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up towards the hands. As you exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Slight bend in the knees will help protect the lower back. Exhale, folding to the mat. Inhale to a half lift. Push the shins into the hands. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping or hopping back to push up or high plank. Inhale, work your body weight forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, coming towards the mat. Flatten the feet. Inhale, rise to cobra. Exhale, coming to the mat. 2 more rounds. Inhale and rise. Exhale to the mat. One more time. Inhale, stay long in the back. Exhale to the mat. Inhale again, pushing up into tabletop. As you exhale, readjust your tabletop. Flip the feet over on your inhale. Exhale, hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right foot towards the ceiling. Exhale, stepping the right foot in between the hands. Inhale, rising up into a high lunge, or feel free to drop the left knee to the mat for a lower lunge. Square your hips with the front of the mat. If you find yourself unstable here, you may want to widen your stance as if your feet were on 2 different tracks. Keep the shoulders down the back, spiraling the pinkies towards one another. And on your next exhale, come forward and then down, planting the hands, stepping the right foot back, high plank. Inhale here. Exhale, lowering either all the way to the mat or low plank. Inhale, rise up to cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, coming to down dog. Inhale the left foot towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw the left foot in between the hands. Again, separating the feet if you need that added stability. Inhale, arms come high. Continue to breathe deep. As the next exhale comes to you, allow the hands to frame the foot. Inhale, step the left foot back. Exhale, either all the way to the mat or low lunge. Inhale, coming up to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips come high, down dog. Inhale, shift your body weight forward to high plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, one more time forward, high plank. This time as you exhale, bring the knees wide, big toes to touch, and exhale, bringing your hips towards the heels. A block in front of the head may be helpful if coming all the way to the mat is a little too strong. Reconnect with the breath here. Hear the breath. Feel where it lands in the body. Keep the fingers engaged. On your next inhale, bring the hips up. Remove the block if you're using one. Flip the feet over. And exhale, bringing the hips up and back to down dog. As a reminder, at any time you're not catching up with the breath or you just feel like you need a little break, come into child's pose. Knees wide, big toes to touch. On your next inhale, bring the right foot towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring the foot forward, but behind the hand so that it forms a pyramid with the foot being the peak. If you want to use a block, this may be a good place for it. We're going to come up into a balance pose, so bringing a block under the right hand is an option. When you're ready, slowly straighten the right leg, keeping the left toes on the mat. If you wish to stay right here in this balance challenge, continue to breathe. Otherwise, the left leg can come parallel with the mat. And maybe you come up on fingertips. Another option is to raise one arm at a time. Into warrior three. As you exhale, allow the hands and feet to come together, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale towards the mat again, forward fold. Inhale, rising all the way up, nice and slow and controlled. Exhale, cactus your arms. Lean back. Inhale and rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, step or hop back to a high plank. Inhale here. As you exhale, begin to bend the elbows. Again, either to low plank or all the way to the mat. And then inhale to a cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips high and back, down dog. Inhale, raising the left leg towards the ceiling. And exhale, stepping it forward again, forming a pyramid with the hands and foot. Bring blocks in if you wish. And when you are ready, slowly start to straighten the left leg. And then again, find where you want to have your balance, where your body will allow it to be. The leg can come up or the toes can just reach the mat. There's no goals here. We just want to accept where we are. One side may be different than the other. Hands can remain on a block or on the mat. Fingertips, or both arms can come up. If you find yourself shaking, that's completely normal. It's just because you're excited to be here. When you're ready, in whichever pose you're in here, allow the hands and feet to come to the mat for forward fold. Remove blocks if you happen to have them there. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rising all the way up. And exhale, bringing the hands to the side. Keeping the leg muscles engaged, the core engaged. Chest high, shoulders down the back. Neck long. Breath deep. Take about 3 more breaths here in mountain pose. On your next inhale, allow the arms to come up high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, torso comes halfway up, hands to shin. Exhale and fold, planting the hands, stepping or hopping back to high plank. Inhale, working your body weight forward. And exhale, coming all the way to the mat this time. Feet flat. Inhale, rising up to cobra. Exhale, slowly to the mat. Inhale, push into the mat with both hands, pivot on the knees. Widen the knees, big toes to touch. Exhale to child's pose. Hands can remain in front of you, or you can bring the hands back to the heels, or interlace the fingers behind your back. Bring the shoulders away from the ears a little bit, getting a different stretch out of this pose. Or again, the hands can always remain in front. If your hands are behind you, please walk them back to the front. And then one hand at a time, walk them towards your knees, raising the torso. Allow yourself to come to a seated position, about midway in the mat. Soles of the feet on the mat, hands behind the thighs, chest high, shoulders back. And begin to lean backwards for boat pose. If you're light in the heels, keep your abs engaged. You're already in boat pose. If you wish to extend the legs and the hands, it's another option. If you find yourself shaking too much and you're unstable, then just adjust as necessary to challenge yourself, but not overextend or invite injury or strain. Wherever you are in this pose, start to lean forward, bringing the feet to the mat. Bring both hands behind you, about a foot, with the fingertips pointing forward, and ensure the feet are far enough forward that when we raise up, we will form a straight line or reverse plank pose. Inhale, coming up. Then adjust the hands and feet as necessary. Keep the neck long. If you find this is strenuous on the wrists or the shoulders, walk the feet in for a reverse tabletop. Of course, another option is to come down and just work your way mentally into the pose, not necessarily physically. On an exhale, slowly come down. Inhale and straighten the right leg, tucking the left foot in. Exhale here. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, coming forward towards the right leg. Breathe deep. We're going to be here for only 1 or 2 more breaths. As you inhale, rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, hands come behind and down. Inhale, straighten the left leg. As you exhale, bend the right one in. Inhale, both arms overhead. And exhale, coming forward and up, and finally down towards the left leg. Inhale and rise up. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Inhale, straighten the right leg. And as you exhale, work your way flat to the mat, putting as least stress on the back as possible. When you're flat on the mat, bring the soles of the feet flat on the mat, then walk the feet towards the edge of the mat. Allow the knees to touch together. Hands can stay on your belly and your chest, down at your side, or out to the side, whichever you feel most comfortable. On your next exhale, allow the knees to come to the right. As you inhale, bring them back towards the ceiling. Exhale, drop them left. Inhale towards the ceiling. Now with your breath, continue to windshield wiper the knees, right and left. Working out the hips. When you're ready, keep the knees towards the ceiling, and then straighten both legs on the mat. Bring your arms overhead. Do a full body stretch, engaging every muscle you can from the toes to the fingertips, your jaws, your eyes, your glutes, and then exhale, allowing it all to fall to the mat. 2 more times. Inhale, engage all the muscles, nice and strong. Thighs, shoulders, exhale, relax. 1 more time. Inhale. Heels towards the front of the room, fingers towards the back, and relax. Now I'm going to talk you through the final resting pose as I come seated, but ask that you remain flat on the floor. Bring your feet out to a natural open position. Walk the shoulders down the back a little bit. Allow the arms to come wherever they're comfortable. And just let the breath flow naturally. Some believe this is the hardest pose in yoga. Trying to relax the mind, the body, and allow our practice to integrate into the body. Stay as long as you wish in this final resting pose. When you're ready to come out, begin to engage the breath once again, and then invite subtle movements into the fingers and toes, eventually expanding the movements and come to a relaxed seated position. Again, stay as long as you wish. Thank you for joining us today. I have deep respect for everyone that has joined our practice. And in acknowledgement of that respect, I bow and say, job well done.